When did your gut feeling turn out to be right? I always had a strange feeling about the old substitute teacher at our high school, Mr. Collins. Everyone thought he was harmless, just this tired, forgetful guy who wore the same brown blazer every day and carried a briefcase that looked older than the school itself. Teachers liked him because he was reliable and always available last minute. Students liked him because he barely paid attention and usually let us goof off. But something about him made me uneasy. Maybe it was how he lingered in the hallways after the final bell, or how he always seemed to know which lockers belonged to which kids even though he wasn't full-time staff. I didn't think too much of it until my best friend Kara started acting weird. Kara was one of the most talkative people I knew, always gossiping, always laughing. But over a few weeks, she grew quiet and distracted. She stopped eating lunch with us and jumped whenever someone tapped her shoulder. When I asked her if something was wrong, she shook her head and changed the subject. Still, I noticed her looking over her shoulder a lot more, especially when we walked home. One rainy afternoon, I was in the library working on a paper when I saw Mr. Collins walk past the windows. That wasn't unusual, except it was nearly 5 p.m., long after school closed. He wasn't carrying his briefcase, just a small metal tin. He headed straight toward the side entrance by the gym, which should have been locked. I got this sinking feeling in my stomach. I decided to follow from a distance, keeping my hoodie up. He unlocked the side door with a key, something only full staff should have had, and slipped inside. My curiosity got the better of me, so I waited a few minutes and then crept in through the same door before it shut. The halls were dark except for a faint light coming from the stairwell. I padded quietly down to the basement level, a place most students never went. Through the crack of a door, I saw him. Mr. Collins was kneeling on the floor of the old storage room, prying open a loose panel in the wall. My heart raced as I peeked in. Inside the wall was a hollow space stuffed with manila folders, notebooks, and cassette tapes. He pulled out the tin he'd been carrying and slid it inside before carefully replacing the panel. Then he looked around, like he was making sure no one was there, and walked off. As soon as he left, I texted my older cousin Max, who was in college studying criminal justice. He told me to wait until the coast was clear, then take pictures but not touch anything. I did exactly that. I pushed the panel open and my stomach dropped. The folders were filled with printouts of student schedules, locker numbers, even copies of disciplinary files that were supposed to be confidential. Some of the notebooks listed where certain kids hung out after school, and the tapes had names and dates written on them.
One folder had Kara's name scribbled across the front, along with notes about her after-school job and which bus she usually caught. I snapped as many photos as I could, shoved the panel back into place, and ran upstairs before Collins returned. Max called my parents right away, and that night they contacted the police. Investigators came the next morning, opened up the storage room, and confiscated everything. They said Mr. Collins had been breaking into school files for years, collecting information on students and following them outside of school. Nobody knew why, whether it was blackmail, stalking, or something worse. A week later, he was arrested, and all I could think was, I knew something was off about that man.